Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about how narcissists really feel inside. This may surprise a lot of people because they see the narcissist. They may see the narcissist has moved on to a new supply and they look happy and they look like they're living their best life. But I'm going to tell you exactly how a narcissist feels inside, all right? Just because that narcissist moved on to the new supply doesn't mean they're happy, all right? Does not mean they're happy. They're with the new supply temporarily. Some of them can stay with the new supply, mind you, but they'll always be looking for something else on the side. So a narcissist is never happy, never satisfied. Nothing is enough for the narcissist. No matter who they're with or what they have, nothing is enough for the narcissist. That's why it's a no-win situation with the narcissist trying to make these people happy. Because deep down, a narcissist feels a sense of emptiness within themselves, okay? They're always striving for more, more, more. They're never content. They can never relax. This is why a lot of them are nervous wrecks. They're filled with anxiety. They're always on the go, 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 looking for that next thrill because nothing is enough. They're never content with what they have, okay? They never appreciate what they have, okay? This is another reason why narcissists, they can't be alone, all right? Because they feel so empty within themselves that being alone makes them feel even emptier, all right? It causes them to spiral into a depression. So this is why a lot of narcissists always have to have someone around to make them feel better, all right? They feel very unfulfilled because deep down, somewhere along their childhood development, they got damaged, all right? They got damaged and they feel less than. They feel insecure. They feel unsafe, all right? And see, this is what a lot of people do when they get with the narcissist, especially if they know the narcissist has gone through some kind of childhood trauma or something like that. They're always trying to, make the narcissist feel safe or say to themselves, oh, well, if I only show them love, they'll know what it is. See, you can't fix the narcissist. Nobody can fix the narcissist but the narcissists themselves. It takes an awakening for that narcissist to realize why they feel the way they do. But see, they will never acknowledge that. They don't want to self-reflect. They don't want to think that anything's wrong with them. Anytime anything goes wrong for them, it's always got to be someone else's fault. This is why the narcissist can never take accountability and they always got to blame someone else. They just can't bear the thought that they did something wrong because of that very, very fragile ego of them feeling like they're nothing, all right? A narcissist deep down, one of their biggest fears is to feel like they're nothing, okay? Another feeling of a narcissist is they're very paranoid. So inside, the narcissist is paranoid. They think everyone is out to get them, all right? And a lot of that is due from the fact that they've done so many people dirty in the world. They feel like, eventually somebody's going to come after them, okay? Because the narcissist is aware of the fact that they have done people dirty. People say, oh, are they aware of that? Of course they're aware of that. Of course they're aware of that. I even had a narcissist when I was dealing with the malignant narcissist who actually said to me, I know I hurt you. I know I hurt you. They're aware of it, okay? But the difference is they have no empathy. They may be aware that they're hurting you, but they have no empathy because their first priority is satisfying themselves, doing what's best for them. And if you get hurt along the way, oh, well, that's your fault in the eyes of the narcissist. This is what they think. That's your fault because you didn't know the game. So, if you get hurt, It's because of your own, naiveness, all right? The other feeling that narcissists feel inside, again, like I said before, insecurity, okay? A lot of this is insecurity. And one of the ways you could see that is because narcissists are always trying to prove something. They're always trying to prove they got a lot of friends. Oh, they're so popular, or people like them. All right. That's why a lot of times too, they'll post on social media pictures of themselves with a lot of people, trying to boast like, oh, look at me. Look at all these people I'm with. Oh, everybody likes me. That's all insecurity. Or they'll show their insecurity because they're always trying to prove themselves. All right. I always say when somebody's trying to prove themselves all the time, you're dealing with an insecure person. Okay. It's like people that try to prove that they're rich all the time. They try to flash money, or, they're always trying to wear designer labels or something. They're trying to prove something. They're insecure. They're insecure, all right? People that don't have to prove anything don't have to flash, all right? They don't have to flash. They don't have to prove to others anything because they know who the fuck they are. They don't have to prove to people who they are, all right? So narcissists inside feel extremely, extremely insecure. And this is another reason why they constantly have to put you down, because by putting you down makes them feel better, all right? Makes them feel better about themselves, to point out your flaws. They'll call you insecure. They're always projecting. Whatever they are, they project onto you. So they'll always call you insecure. They'll call you controlling. They'll call you negative. They'll call you, you have anger issues. Whatever they are, they're going to call you that, all right? The other thing, too, the narcissist, how do they feel inside? They feel cheated. Deep down, a narcissist feels cheated. They feel they never got what they deserved. For whatever reason, they feel cheated in the world. They feel entitled to have what other people have. Nice houses, nice cars, whatever it could be. The narcissist feels cheated, and they're very, very envious of people that have more than they do. They're envious and jealous of people that have more than they do. And they feel very jealous of people that are more confident of them than them, okay? This is how they feel, okay, you guys? But the big thing is, a lot of narcissists, one thing that I'm going to tell you guys, all right, that I've recognized with all the narcissists I've dealt with in my life, all right, is that all of them had the mindset that they weren't doing anything any different than anybody else in this world, because their mindset was, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm just doing what I have to do to survive. And if you get hurt, that's on you, because if I don't hurt you, somebody else is going to hurt you. And I actually dealt with this in my own personal experience with the malignant narcissist, where he actually said to me, when we were breaking up, he said, the next guy's going to do to you what I did to you. This is his way of removing that shame off himself, because he knew he did me wrong, and he didn't want me to think like he was so bad. Like in other words, what he's doing is he's justifying everything he was doing by saying, well, I'm not doing, the next person is going to hurt you, is going to do the same thing I did to you. All right. This way he doesn't have to feel like he did anything wrong, mind you. All right. Which is completely untrue. All right. But this is what they feel. They feel, well, everybody's corrupt. And you'll hear this other saying too. They'll always say, well, everybody cheats. Everybody cheats. This is how they justify cheating too. They'll sit there and say, well, everybody cheats. Anybody who says that to you is going to cheat on you. All right. If you hear this, and I used to hear this a lot, when I used to talk to people in the dating world, or when I was dating, I used to hear them all the time. They used to say, well, everybody cheats. Everybody cheats. Anybody tells you that, then they're the cheater. Okay. Thank you for letting me know where your head is at. Now I know you're the cheater, because not everybody cheats. That is an untrue statement, but that's the mind of a narcissist. That's the way the narcissist thinks, all right? So when you sit there and you say, what do they think? They think everybody cheats. They think everybody's a liar. They think everybody's crooked. So they don't feel bad for anything they do, because they figure, everybody does this. I'm no different than anybody else. I'm just doing what I got to do to survive, right? Okay. This is how they are, all right? So they think that everybody in the world is, a manipulator, a liar, just like them. And they'll never trust you. They think you're doing the same thing that they're doing. This is why the narcissist didn't trust you from the get-go, all right? Listen to me when I tell you. People think narcissists cheated down the road from them because they may have found out about it. Let's say, a couple years into the relationship, they found out they cheated on them. 9 times out of 10, they were cheating on you from day one. They had somebody from day one, only you didn't know about it. And it wasn't that you did anything wrong to cause them to cheat. It's just that that's their nature, okay? That's the nature of the beast, all right? 99% of them, they cheat, all right? So, because they're never content with who they have. Never. Listen to me when I tell you. I've been around narcissists my whole life. They're never content with who they have, all right? They're always looking for that next best thing. Excuse me, you guys. I have a little cold going on, so I'm kind of struggling through this podcast right now, trying to talk, all right? So how narcissists feel inside is they feel cheated, all right? They feel cheated. They're never content with what they have. The other thing that narcissists feel inside is they also feel smarter than you. Deep down, a narcissist thinks they're smarter than you. Like I had somebody ask me, and they said, does the covert narcissist, do they think they're more clever? And the answer to that is absolutely, positively, yes. All right. The covert narcissist thinks they're the slickest character out there. They really do, because they think because they don't show their hand that they're more clever than you are. Look at you. You're transparent. You're vulnerable. You show your weaknesses. So they automatically think that you're a fool, you're a dope, and that you're a sucker that's going to get hurt. All right. So yeah, covert narcissists definitely think that they're more clever than you. Deep down, they think they're clever. All right. Till you figure out the game, then their game is over. That's when, they're done once you figure out their game. And that's what I'm here for, you guys. I'm here to help you guys recognize these demons, recognize them, all right? The other thing that how narcissists feel inside is they're very angry, all right? Narcissists deep down are angry inside, and they project that anger onto you. This is why the narcissist is always saying to you, oh, you're so angry. Oh, you're so angry. No, you're the one who's fucking angry, all right? But you're calling me angry. But see, if you're dealing with a covert narcissist, they're so passive aggressive. They don't want to show you their anger. They hold it all inside, and what they'll do is they'll provoke you. This is what these covert narcissists do. They'll provoke you to have you react, and then they go, oh, why are you so angry? Why? Because you made me angry, number one, and actually you're the angry person because you're the one who's got to be passive aggressive and do reactive abuse to try to get a reaction out of me, because you're the angry person. You're the angry person that's got to play games, right? All right. You're the angry person who's got to pick on everything in the house, who's got to pick on how the house is, how clean it is, how the food is, pick on how parenting kids. Yeah, you're the angry person that just can't live and let live. Right. Okay. So narcissists, the way they feel inside is they're angry. Deep down, they're angry and they're miserable. And what they're going to do is they're going to try to make you angry and miserable and project all that shame onto you. All right. The other thing, and I mentioned this before, of how narcissists really feel inside, they're jealous of others. They can't ever be happy for anyone else. Narcissists, you rarely see them say, oh, I'm happy for you, unless they're faking it, okay? Unless they're in front of other people and they have to say something because the pressure's on. Let's say you're with a group of people and you say, oh, I got that raise or whatever. And other people are like, oh, that's great, this and that. I'm so happy for you. And you'll see, generally what you'll see, right? You'll see the covert narcissist sit there with that smirky grin, like that smirky grin, and it'll kill them to even have to say something like, oh, happy for you, if they could even get it out of their mouth, all right? Because they're so jealous inside. So the way the narcissist feels inside, they're very miserable. So they're jealous of anything that goes well for you, all right? They're miserable, miserable, miserable people, and they want to make you miserable. They don't feel complete. There's always a sense of emptiness within that narcissist. I don't care what that narcissist has. And I'm going to give you guys proof of that, all right? Proof of that. This is how you know narcissists are miserable inside, all right, and how they feel. I want you to think about the narcissist that you knew that had money, all right? Had money or had a good family, all right? Think about these narcissists, especially that had money. Were they happy in your eyes? I don't know one narcissist that I knew that had money that I could say was completely happy or content. No, they're not. So a narcissist, especially with money, even though they may have money, they're still not happy. They never have enough money. They never have enough money, all right? A billionaire is never satisfied. They want 100 billion, okay? I mean, a millionaire is not satisfied. They want 100 million. They're never satisfied. They may have beautiful homes. They may have great cars. They may have beautiful wives or good-looking husbands. But guess what? These people are still miserable. That's why a lot of them turn to drugs and alcohol for that high, all right? They need some kind of high, some kind of excitement. So here's what I have to say, and a lot of people don't realize this. Money does not make you happy, not even for the narcissist, okay? Listen again, because I grew up around a lot of narcissistic people that had money. And they were not happy. Deep down, they were not happy, all right? Money doesn't make you happy. What makes you happy is being content with what you have and your relationships in your life, right? But see, deep down, the narcissist is an unhappy, miserable, miserable person that doesn't appreciate what they have. Narcissists don't appreciate. Listen to me when I tell you, they don't appreciate what they have. And that's why they lose good things and good people in their life, because they don't appreciate them, all right? And they overstep their boundaries, all right? Let me think if I'm missing anything, because I wrote down this whole list when I was thinking about it yesterday. The other thing too, oh yeah, this is true. How narcissists feel inside, they're extremely anxious and they can never, ever sit still, all right? Every narcissist that I knew was a nervous wreck and could never sit still, all right? All right, I may get interrupted, but I'm going to try to finish this podcast right here, okay? So narcissists are nervous wrecks as well, you guys. See, this is the thing with narcissists. They're always looking for thrills. They're thrill seekers because they're trying to ease that deep anxiety within themselves. They feel less than. And a lot of it, okay, a lot of it has to do with the fact that they were never validated, or maybe they were over-validated during their childhood development. Like I've said in other podcasts, people become narcissistic. It's a combination of nature and nurture, all right? Everybody has a certain nature and an innate nature within themselves. And the way they grew up, all right, their environment molded them into who they are, right? So you could have two people that grow up in let's say, a toxic environment, two kids that grow up in a toxic environment, one becomes narcissistic and one may not become narcissistic. And that's because of the nature of the child, right? So maybe one child needs more love, more nurturing, more attention than the other child. And that's the child that may generally become more narcissistic because they never feel satisfied. They never feel complete. They feel insecure. They feel unsafe. And they go through their life building this alter ego, all right, to protect themselves. So the thing is this, you're not going to fix these people. They have to have like an exorcism, all right, or or an enlightenment to realize why they feel this emptiness within themselves. But see, narcissists, they're in denial. They won't think about those things. Instead, they'll just think, oh, you caused them to be unhappy. And they're always looking for the next supply, that next thrill, that next high. The narcissist always wants that next high to make them feel better. And why is that? Because they're anxious, unhappy people, all right? They're very anxious, unhappy people. So they're very fearful people. So deep down inside, they're unsettled, all right? They're living with an emotional turmoil within themselves. And people don't realize that because they put on a good front. These people pretend that they're happy. This is what they do, and they want to rub it in your face with the new supply. But deep down, they're not even happy with the new supply. They're going to find things they don't like about the new supply. And they're going to have other supply on the side. And they're going to eventually move on to someone else, all right? Because they're never happy, never satisfied. And I brought this up years ago because I did a reel on this years ago because I was sitting down on my couch thinking about this. And I said, you know what? Every single narcissist that I've ever dealt with in my life, and I've dealt with a lot, not one of them was ever happy or ever satisfied. So you guys, when you're sitting there and you're angry about the narcissist of what they did to you, remember this, they'll never feel complete. And they'll never, ever have that sense of safety and fulfillment. Never. A narcissist goes in a circle. They don't progress. And they're always chasing their tail because they aren't ever happy. They can't just stop and smell the roses because of that anxiety and that deep-rooted uneasiness within themselves, because they just can never, ever, nothing is enough for the narcissist, all right? So I hope that helps you. If it does, please hit the subscribe button. Please share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askgaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. I have limited time, limited availability, so please book ahead. If you're confused, you don't know if you're dealing with a narcissist, what kind of narcissist they are, and you need clarity, check out that link in the bio. Also, check out my YouTube at the Game Exposed podcast. I have over 7,000 videos there, a lot of information for you to learn about narcissism. TikTok is the Game Exposed, and Facebook and Instagram, you guys, is the Game EXP 123, and have a great day.